What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. It's time for the In Off the Bench podcast. My name is Jim Cross, and as always, I'm joined by my boy Daniel Ball. And tonight, we're going to head on down to Tuscaloosa to talk to Gabby Gladieux. We're going to be talking all things Alabama gymnastics and how they're going to find their way back to Fort Worth and have a little redemption tour. But before we do, we got to plug the sponsors. Old Dominic Distillery in the heart of downtown Memphis. Vodka, bourbon, whiskey, gin, they have it all. Chinook Cedary, 8 flavors, mild to wild, less salt, no sandpaper tongue, the best in the game. And of course, last but not least, Memphis City Design. Go get your official In Off the Bench merch, just like this Alabama one I'm wearing right now. But let's get to the biggest interview in podcasting this week with our girl, Gabby. Daniel, if that video doesn't fire you up, dude, I don't know what to do.
I mean, I'm pumped. It's very rare that I don't see the hype videos or anything that has our athletes in it with background music. Like I don't know. I get a good feeling. I get a good vibe. But Gabby, obviously, when we talk about getting fired up, it's because you are at the top of the top. You're an elite level gymnast, and we are happy to have you on. So let's get into it a little bit. The Halloween season, it's now over. I'm sure everyone partook in the candy and the costumes and everything that comes with, the whole spooky season. But my question is are you one of those people that goes straight to Christmas, or do you, hang out in the fall weather, hang out in the fall holiday and kind of appreciate Thanksgiving and that time for what it is? Or you just say, no, I'm ready. I'm ready for Santa. I'm ready for all that.
Yeah, so I think for me, I like to enjoy the fall season. Growing up, my mom always said Christmas doesn't start until after Thanksgiving. But some of my teammates are already playing Christmas music in the gym. So I prefer to wait a little bit longer, but yeah.
I know that's right. So my house, we do a pretty big light display. And so every year it seems we start working on this earlier and earlier and earlier. And this year, like none other, we have more things. And of course, like the day after Halloween, like we're out there putting up Christmas decorations. It's ridiculous. But I mean, I like Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite holidays, if not my most favorite, just because it's based around one thing that I enjoy. That's eating food. So
that ain't
the same way.
Your team always plays on Thanksgiving too, though, so that's a benefit as well.
Yeah, that helps. You always have something to look forward to. Obviously, with Halloween being gone, there's no more costumes. But I will ask, if you could be a Disney character, who would you want to be?
It's a good question.
This tells us a lot about your personality and what type of person you are, because you could go a bunch of different routes. You can go hero, you could go villain, you could be a secondary player, you could go a lot. You could be
a lot if she goes
human, you could be animal, princess, non-princess. Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit here.
I think I would have to pick Merida from Brave. I think she's really cool, and I like how she doesn't fit like the stereotypical princess role. But yeah, she's probably got to be my fave. I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's one that if you're looking for someone who gets after it, she's one. She's not, she's not gonna get dirty and be unhappy about it. She's not going to be scared. She's going to lean into everything. So I like that answer. That's a good answer. So music wise, obviously we talked about Disney, we talked about Halloween, but music, if you could go see anybody in concert, who would you go see and where would you go see them?
I think I've got to go with Cody Johnson. I was raised on country music. I'm a country music fan through and through. That's pretty much all I listen to. I'm, of course, outnumbered when it comes to my team, though. But I probably want to see him perform Probably somewhere in like Charleston, South Carolina, or Nashville, Tennessee. Just
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with country music in Nashville, that's for sure. And I mean, you go to Charleston, you get old, that South deep Southern twang, that Southern belle type atmosphere. Yeah, I could see that. Not a bad answer, but you did say it's not a popular pick with your teammates. What would be a popular pick with your teammates?
so I think the ratio. I think there's like 3 out of the 18 of us that will listen to country music. We'll have it on in the gym, and the one song will finish, and then it's changed to usually Drake, Lil Baby, Rod Wave. I swear we listen to about the same 15 songs on repeat. Some weeks.
You have no problem cutting up to Drake, though. I see. So
no, yeah, I dabble in that. It's good. It brings good vibes to the gym. I will say that. It keeps the vibes high. Jameson's usually our DJ. She really knows how to get good songs in there and keep the momentum up in there.
I hear you. So, being someone who mentions Nashville, mentions Charleston, mentions listen to country, I'm excited to hear this. Where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina.
Nice. North Carolina was, we're definitely not talking politics on here, but man, as soon as I turned the TV on last night, it was everything North Carolina. And I felt like I knew everything about what mattered in North Carolina. So as if I didn't already know a lot about North Carolina, just because we've had a lot of guests, I definitely feel like I know something about it.
I think you should add PD Pablo to the mix.
Okay.
He probably do you know PD Pablo? I mean, that's so old, Daniel.
That's the only person I know that reps North Carolina. So
I'll tell Jameson to get on that one.
Yeah.
There you go. So let's talk about family. Family growing up. You have brothers, sisters, big family, small family.
I have a pretty small family. I'm an only child. My family is spread out pretty far across the country. I've got an aunt in Las Vegas, grandparents in Florida. So they're pretty far out. But yeah, it's just me, my parents, and my dog.
So, I imagine that obviously helps, growing up, because we know the life and the level of a gymnast when we talk to you ladies, and it's a grind, and it's every day, and it's 365 days a year. So, being an only child will have its advantages, being, just how much time it requires of your parents and yourself. But, who is your greatest influence? Is it one of your parents? Is it a coach? Is it, a gymnast? Who is the person when you're coming up that you're looking to?
I would have to say it's my mom. My mom was also she was an NCAA Division I athlete. She ran track at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and she went to the '88 Olympic trials. So she was a college athlete. She was of high caliber. So she was kind of my outlet, my rock when I need to go to her and vent, or I need advice on something. But yeah, gotta say my mom.
Did you get some speed from her? Can you run it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I get my speed, my power, my jumping ability. All that's from her.
Nice. Well, when it comes to coming up and competing, the list of these accolades, we got 2018 Junior Olympics national runner-up, 2018, obviously national team member, region all-around and vault champion, 3-time Nastia Lucan Cup qualifier. And I could just do this all day. Like, I'm not going to do this to the listeners because your accolades are strong. And so I'll just ask first, because the last thing was you graduated from North Guilford High with a 4.0 grade point average. So killing it academically, killing it athletically. How are you able to maintain and balance that schedule?
I think it had a lot to do with like the flexibility of my teachers. I was able to take like 3 classes in person, 2 classes online, and then that helped me get to the gym on time and be able to travel to meets, because in JO, traveled about every other weekend and it was all over country. And so I also think my parents were also helpful. Anytime I needed something, no matter what it was, they would go lengths and miles to make sure that I could do everything. But they always stressed to me that I am a student before anything else. And that is more important and most important, because, there will come a time when gymnastics and sports will end and you will only have a degree and your education to rely on. So.
Absolutely. Putting the student athlete. So you talk about traveling around. What was the best spot for you? Your favorite spot that you got to travel to and compete?
Oh, that's a good one. Talking about in JO.
Yeah.
I think my favorite meet was called the $100 meet. And it was down in Orlando, Florida. at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Center. And that was always really cool because I got to see my grandparents. I love the warm weather. The warm weather in like February was amazing because that was not it from where I was from. But yeah, that was probably a cool meet. I love the medals they gave out too because I went to that meet all the way from when I was like probably 8 to when I was a junior in high school. And so it was kind of cool to see all the pictures of me throughout the years growing up with that meet because we would go every year.
I mean, Daniel, you moved to Florida for a reason. It's not a bad gig. She's going to Orlando every year.
I mean, she hit it on the head. Beautiful, amazing weather in February. That's why. I mean, eight months out of the year, we're pretty blessed. I will say that.
So, I said that list of accolades. I didn't read them all. Just thinking back to the success you had in JO and through your time in high school, what do you feel like was your accomplishment you're most proud of?
That's a good question. I'd probably have to say, I think it has to be winning the Nastia Lucan Cup in 2019. Mm-hmm. That meet's so special to me for so many reasons. I actually met Makari Doggett and Jameson for the first time at that meet, and the fact that Kari and I won the junior and senior division was really cool. But that meet is such a high level meet for a JO gymnast, and to be able to qualify, you're like one of the best gymnasts out of 16 or 32 in the country. And it was just really cool to be able to be up and close and personal with Nastia Lucan and to ask her questions. And and to be on TV, when you're 14, 15, that's pretty cool.
Does it, with that being said, when you're competing at that young age, obviously a lot of pressure within, but especially when you're doing on TV and you have people, you look up to, how much, pressure does that put on you?
Oh, it puts a lot of pressure. I remember the year I won, it was actually in my hometown in Greensboro. So I had all my friends and family, all my teammates there. And so it was a lot of added pressure. But, my mom always said, you go out there, you do your best, you have fun, and that's all that matters.
Well, have fun you did, because winning is fun, that's for sure. So to the big question, and I'm sure you committed early because it was probably before they changed the rules, I'm going to assume. But, why Alabama and when was this taking place?
So I committed, I think, June of 2020. So it was like middle of COVID. I was recruited mainly over the phone. So nowadays recruits get unofficial visits and, coaches will come to their gym. And there was a point in time when COVID happened and I had no face-to-face contact with coaches for a really long time. But Alabama was one of the first schools that showed interest in me. Of course, I got recruited by a different coaching staff than I'm currently being coached by. But it's not just about the coaches. I mean, the opportunities at this university are incredible. The facilities, just the people, the all-around vibe. I mean, I love the Southern hospitality as I am from the South. But and it also wasn't too far from home. I also am a big fan of football, and
not a bad place to go.
Not a bad place.
Well, it seems like it was a perfect fit because you jump right in and you immediately make an impact. You were named to the 2023 All-SEC and all-freshman teams. Coming in as a freshman, do you expect to make an impact like that, or was that something that was kind of a surprise even to you?
Oh, that was a surprise even to me. I mean, those accomplishments, those are great. But all I remember is that first team. I had amazing seniors and upperclassmen. And, I met some of my best friends here on this team that have now graduated. But, coming as a freshman, it's always intimidating because you have people that have been on this team that are All-Americans and that are national champions and that are SEC. And so it's like you're coming in here and you don't want to underestimate yourself. But I had a pretty good sidekick, Makari Doggett, who told me, I remember the first meet before my freshman season, she was like, you're going to be amazing and you're going to be an impact for this team. She's like, don't ever underestimate yourself. And so I think she was one of my biggest inspirations when I got to college.
You mentioned it, but you get to practice and compete and just watch and pick the brain of people like Luisa Blanco, Ella Burgess, and there's a whole list of just incredible gymnasts that are at Alabama. So, you know, what was it like having those ladies to lean in and learn from, you know, not necessarily just from the gymnastics standpoint, but just as a student athlete in general, because the whole college, thing is new to you.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, they were some of my biggest inspirations. It was kind of intimidating walking in because they were so good, and Louisa, the many accolades she has, but it's even more impressive that the kind of person she is and the kind of heart she has, and I think that's the one thing that I learned from them the most. It wasn't the gymnastics. Yeah, they were very talented, but they really shaped me into the person that I am, I think, and they taught me more lessons that I'm going to carry with me, not within the sport, but without, and to just learn from them for humans, because that's what my coaching staff they really care about. It's the human before the gymnast, and so having that emphasized, with my own teammates is something that was really cool.
You know, we know this, but it's based on what we see and what we hear and what we read. But you have a different perspective because you competed against them. But you know, you end up losing to Oklahoma in the regionals after you guys finished second at SEC championships. You know, you were the vault champion there. But when you look back on that Oklahoma team, you know, Jim and I can say how good they were, but in your opinion, when you compete next to them, like how good were they actually?
Honestly, I can't remember. They are extremely good. Oklahoma is one of the biggest dynasties in gymnastics. But the one thing that we really focus on as a team is to focus on each other, and is to not really try and watch the other team, because that takes away from the tunnel vision we like to say that we have. But they are incredible, and I watch their videos all the time, and they're pretty cool. I also learn from them too. So a lot of my coaches take the techniques that they have and they try to implement them with us. So
Yeah, I mean, to me, Jim, that's the perfect answer because when you're talking about like coming up short or turning the page, especially like when you have a mindset of I want to be a champion, like you don't think too much about the people that beat you. You think about what you have to do personally to reach the pinnacle. And so it seems like that's the mindset which I wouldn't expect anything different from Alabama gymnastics, but I will ask this in terms of like a transition from freshman to sophomore year. You were, you know, amazing at vault that first year, and then you turn around and you're an All-American on the floor the next year. We saw the routine in the intro video that Jim put together, but from freshman to sophomore year, what made you more comfortable on the floor? Was it just having another year under your belt, or was there anything that you did differently that put you in that position?
yeah, I think it was definitely experience. I think experience goes a long way in the sport, and I actually changed my first tumbling pass that I did. It's the double flip with the full twist. I tweaked that, and I went through a tough time with that skill. It took me half the season to get it right, and once I got it right, I hit it every time. But I also think I was really afraid of performing when I was a freshman. I didn't like to show off too much. I performing in front of tens of thousands of people, made me really nervous, and it can make anybody nervous. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. So I definitely think experience. I love performing now. I love floor. I think it's a chance for me to show my personality, to get the crowd involved. But yeah, it's got to be. Actually, it's my favorite event now. It wasn't my favorite event my freshman year, but it is definitely my favorite event now.
Yeah. So, you know, at what point do you decide? I mean, you've 5 times you competed in all around. When is it decided that you'll do beam?
Um, it's usually decided like that week. It's like a week to week basis. Top six go. We warm up usually 8. But it's just that we usually do inter squads throughout the week, and we call them data points. And it just the 3 pillars that our coaches go by when choosing lineup spots is consistency, adaptability, and scoring potential, which I think are very important. But yeah, that's really what it comes down to. But yeah.
I mean, that's seems like it makes it easy and pretty much like, hey, girls, this is the criteria. Whoever hits this criteria at the highest level, that's who gives us the best chance to compete and win. So I think having a type of metric or something like that, that you know what you got to do, helps. I mean, at least it helps drive practice. It helps keep everybody accountable for what they're doing, but also it gives you a reason for why you may or may not be in a particular rotation. But making it to Fort Worth after winning Ann Arbor Regional, like, how special was that team?
Oh, that was incredible. Team 50 will always hold a special place in my heart. You know, we fell short of our ultimate goal of making it to Final Four, but the culture we built and the trust we had within each other, like those memories from last year, will never be replaced. But I will say, I think we came into that regionals with a different mindset because my freshman year, we didn't get the chance to even make it to night 2 of regionals. And so I think we came in there with a different vision, with different momentum. It was like we were going in there and we weren't leaving unless we qualified to nationals. And so I think it was a big switch in the mindset, but it was the whole energy from the minute we got to Ann Arbor, from the minute we left. We just knew. We knew from that moment that we weren't coming home without making another stop in Fort Worth.
So obviously, Jim, you mentioned that you had a couple meets that you wanted to talk about in particular. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, and I was going to say, so I mean, I was there in Fort Worth, and you know, you were talking about the upperclassmen, and what I thought was important, what I learned from y'all was after Beam went the way it did, watching the composure and the way the team was able to knock out everything. Like it did not, you know, slow y'all down. As a matter of fact, I thought y'all got better as it went on. And specifically, you know, we got to talk to Louisa about that because I was sitting there recording when she came off the beam, and I saw the look on her face, and I felt so bad, but then she didn't feel bad for herself, right? She gets back up and she does her thing. And so things like that shows me, you know, the resiliency, the toughness in you ladies, and how y'all also pick each other up. So, but this upcoming season, Daniel, they have the best, in my opinion, home schedule in all of college gymnastics. You know, they got Big Al's birthday on January 10th, hosting North Carolina, but January 24th, they have the Be the Change night hosting Oklahoma. February 7th, We Are Bama night hosting LSU. February 21st, hosting Auburn Power of Pink, which those uniforms are sick. And March 7th, Florida Capes and Crowns Senior Night. Daniel, they're hosting all the other big schools. This is a chance for Alabama to make a statement at home in front of their crowd.
You know what I heard? I heard a lot of dubs in there. Let's go.
Maybe not February 7th.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, that's a dub too.
No. One of the things that's fun about gymnastics is picking up off the way that y'all are, right? Like the camaraderie and rooting for people. I kind of carry that, especially when I go to the quad meets and see a lot of the girls that we've had on the show from different ones. And, you know, my purple and gold, you know, kind of bleeds off. And instead I'm enjoying it for all it is. I mean, it is like, that's why I had him ask the question about, you know, watching Oklahoma, you know, that's for y'all. But for me, ain't nothing better than seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 just going constant action. Like I'm just taking it all in, trying to get video pictures, whatever. My son is with me when I do it, and he thinks that y'all aren't even human with everything that you do. So it's fun. I look forward. You know, I've never been, but we have a few listeners of the show that says I have to be there for at least, if not LSU, Auburn, and the fact that that's the Power of the Pink night. And like I said, I really like those Leos. Daniel, that might be the one, man. That way I don't have to root, you know, and kind of figure myself out with LSU. I'll just do Auburn. You know what I mean?
There you go. That puts you in the best scenario possible. That way you don't look foolish when your team gets beat. So, well, and I mean, there's nothing greater than Alabama beating an Auburn team in anything. So,
I'll be honest, because we brought up Oklahoma. I'm going to tell you when LSU is going to beat. I'm going to be there on Valentine's Day. Oklahoma is all those girls are back. We've had them all on the show. Like, oh man, they're scary good. Like, I know Gabby says she watches them, but she's got tunnel vision. I mean, I'd have to look across the way and be like, dang, everybody over there is an All-American. Anyway, moving on. No, we're gonna wrap it up. Dan, you got anything gymnastics wise before I play this game?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Gabby. I mean, with the new season approaching, obviously, the talent level that you guys have is just sick. It's ridiculous. But who are some people that need to have their name out there? Who are some people that have practiced well and you're looking at as to be able to contribute and do big things for you guys this year?
Right. Our freshmen, we have a big freshman class. We lost 6 seniors. But we have 6 incredible freshmen. And Ryan Williams. Oh, not Ryan Williams. But Ryan, she's a freshman. Peyton Walker.
You did catch that, Daniel. You know who Ryan Williams is, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Faye, she's from North Carolina. So she's really close to home for me. And then we have, I think that's it. Oh, and then we have Love Burt. She's from Cameron Machado's gym. And then Cam and I are both, Shania Adams are both our super seniors, which is incredible that they came back. They bring so much maturity, leadership, consistency to this team. They put this team before themselves in every aspect. Obviously we have Lily Hudson. She's our senior. Jamison Sears, she's a performer. But I think our team is really, we just finished our Ghosts and Goblins. It's our open enter squad that we have before Halloween. And we did a video review the next day, and we're really proud of where we're at. We're trending in an upward direction, and the depth and the potential we have this season, I think is going to be amazing, and we're going to do some big things.
Dang, Jim, that's accountability right there. When you do a video review of yourself, like in front of everybody, where, man, get the laser pointer out and start. This is what I picture. You know how on like NFL they like draw on the board and you got the circles and stuff like that. And I see the coaches in there like doing the same thing, like looking at angles and different things and like just breaking it all down. That's pretty cool.
I mean, the precision to which they do everything, I'm sure they can nitpick a lot. I actually don't want to be a part of those sessions personally. I wouldn't want to be critiqued that hard. But no, I'm so excited, Gabby. Like, so we obviously, are huge into baseball. Our baseball, we do every sport on here, but baseball is our bread and butter. Gymnastics is second. And I say that because everybody's like, you ready for college baseball season? And me and Dan are like, bro, gymnastics is first. Like, we don't even talk about baseball until after we've watched 6 weeks of gymnastics, Daniel. So like, yeah. I ain't even trying to discuss it. And I tell people all the time, until you've been to a gymnastics meet live, you just don't understand. Like, I argue with people all the time because they say that the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a baseball. And I said, no, it's a balance beam, because I got a video, unfortunately, because Alona Shinikova was recording me on the slide. But getting on a beam and doing stuff, it ain't easy. It's hard. I'm not going to show anybody the video anymore. I think I took it down, Daniel. I'm done being made fun of.
It's a gym. It's in the vault.
It's gym in the gym.
It's whenever anyone wants to see it, just let me know. I'm pretty sure I have it in the vault.
For what it's worth, not only did I not know I was being videoed, Gabby, like they didn't, like I had jeans on, first of all, and they could have told me it'd be easier with my shoes off. Like I didn't get it. Like, so Paul Skeens is a 2-time guest of the show, Gabby. Livy takes him into the same gym on the same beam. He's got shorts on. He's got no shoes. Like she clearly helped him out. Like, these girls set me up for failure. It ain't even right.
Yeah, you were at a disadvantage on that one.
There you go. But I ain't gonna lie, Daniel. My first thought was Paul's 6'5". That's gotta. What do you just step up on that beam?
Probably.
But with that, we're going to play this or that. Daniel, usually I host or you host it, and you ask me what it's brought to you by. So I'm gonna flip it on you. What's it brought to you by?
I could go a number of different routes, but I'm rocking the T-shirt. Chinook Seedery, 8 flavors, mild to wild, best seeds in the game. If you want sunflower seeds, there they are right there. If you want sunflower seeds that are just quality and great price, and it's a jumbo seed that they're not going to charge you extra for, Chinook seeds are where it's at. You could also go with the logo up in the top corner here tonight. Memphis City Designs. Got your gear, your logos from shoes to underoos. They got you covered. Jim's got his in off the bench hoodie. You can get those there.
First time I've wore it.
Look at that, man. I
haven't had it because gymnastics season was over by the time I got this. So that would be the one reason that I'd root for them. Can't say I'd do it in football. You know how it is. But that being said, let's play the game. Gabby, it's this or that. You get two options. You choose one or the other. You just can't say both, can't say neither. You ready?
All right.
All right. Coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink.
What's your favorite kind of energy drink?
Well, we can really only have Red Bull for NCAA, but I don't like regular Red Bull. I drink the tropical one. It's really good.
So you can't have like a Celsius or a Reign or no.
Nope. We said that our nutritionist says that could flag us on a drug test. So
you tell your nutritionist that they're no fun. The no fun police.
That just got my wheels turning, Daniel, because I don't know which energy drink it is, but the LSU girls got it because it was through Livy. I don't know. It feels like that would be something that you wouldn't want them repping if it could get them flagged. I don't know. Just a thought, but neither here nor there. All right. You probably don't eat these a lot because y'all got to stay really, really healthy. But if you are going to have a cheat day, tacos or a cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Can't go wrong. All right. Only floor and bars or only beam and vault?
Floor and bars. Yeah.
Floor and bars. I figured, see, when you started talking about how much you love floor earlier and it became your favorite, I knew that I had paired them together wrong. Should have split it off. Should have put floor beam because it sounds like that might be your least favorite. So it might have been harder. But you've talked about this a lot. I had this on here, didn't know how you'd go about that, but I feel like we know the answer now. But live in the country or live in the city?
Oh, live in the country.
Absolutely. All right. Roller skate or ice skate?
Ice skate.
All right. Go to the beach or go to the lake?
Oh, the beach.
All right. Would you rather be an unknown superhero or a famous villain?
Oh. Probably.
That tells me she wants to be a villain. That tells me if she can think about it.
Yeah, I would have to say a famous villain. That would be pretty fun.
I love it. She didn't just say what needed to say. She said what we wanted to hear there. I like that. All right, here's a true test for you. I've thrown that, Danny. You like how I threw this question on there, ladies? Can you, if you can only have one on your road trip, shampoo or deodorant? What do you got to have?
Deodorant.
I mean, that should be the right answer, but I know that with the amount of hair this guy, and I understand the importance, like the hair can be a mess and something that you don't want to deal with. So it's a legitimate question.
I think more girls are willing to go without washing their hair. I just feel like that's more of a thing than they would be. Like, I think you could go a few days, without washing your hair, but you couldn't do that with deodorant. There's just no way.
Well, the one that because the way when I was looking up this or that questions, it actually had toothpaste in there. And I was like, look, first of all, if anybody who says toothpaste or doesn't say toothpaste, I don't want to be associated with them because I don't want to brush your teeth. They ain't my people. But I was like, I'm not even going to put that in there. All right. This is a tough one. If you really think about it, who wins this weekend, Alabama or LSU?
I got to go Alabama, roll tide all the way.
I'll be there. Got to wear my LSU hat with my
Wow,
I retired this hat. I might wear it since it's going to be raining anyway this weekend because it smells so bad from the Omaha sweat of 2023, but I might break it back out.
I mean, it's a must-win game. And I don't use that often.
This is went through 3 national championships in 3 different sports, gymnastics, football, and baseball. I mean, this thing is – that's why I retired it because I feel like I don't know how much power it's got left, Daniel.
Maybe you supply the power.
I'm not going to lie.
Have you ever thought about that? The question is, how much power do you have in you?
No, because if I told Gabby the truth, I know that I hadn't seen Oklahoma all year last year, and then I went and saw Bama at LSU, and they weren't how they typically are. And then I go to Fort Worth, and they both end up having, the miscues. And I felt like it was me being there. I ain't gonna lie to you, Daniel. If it wasn't for LSU doing their thing, that's one of my thoughts, because it's like, I'm so excited. I get to see Bama and Oklahoma here. We got like 7 guests, and I got my video camera out, and it's just like, oh man, like, all right.
Yeah, Gabby just said you've been uninvited to Alabama Auburn because of that.
It's all good. TV's good too.
She said, take your hat and your body and stay home.
But last one, this one's meaningful, Daniel, because she said something important earlier. She talked about her time as an athlete will come to an end, and that requires going to the workforce. So I ask you, Gabby, last question, the money question: would you rather win a national championship this year, or Daniel will bring you a duffel bag with $5 million in it? What are we taking?
I think I got to take the national championship.
Do you believe her, Daniel?
It's one of those things where I have to believe what the athletes say, even though in my heart, I truly believe that that's a mistake.
I just think you need to have an actual $5 million in front of you to really have this situation thrown at you.
Yeah, maybe.
It gets real when you can smell and taste and feel that cash. I will say that, but I just feel like, when would you ever be presented an opportunity where that much money is just that easy to obtain? So
I'll tell her what I was saying last night. Jordan Bowers turning down when you said a third national championship of $25 million. And what's funny is, Gabby, you ever watched Survivor? I assume possibly.
Oh, I love Survivor. Yeah.
Okay, so you know Q from last year?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a guest of ours, and we were actually I was at his watch party, and it was during Jordan's episode, so we were kind of doing that whole thing, and he had hijacked my spot and was on the computer while Daniel was asking that question, and he heard her say that she would rather have the championship, and he lost his mind. Daniel had to like figure out how to turn him down, because he got so loud about the idea. You would turn down $25 million. Anyway, it's like, now I know why he was on Survivor. He really wanted that $1 million.
I told Q he better worry about playing his idols and leave that girl alone with her national championship.
I don't know how. We never really talked about it, but since she watched it, I just don't understand how all those people went home with the idol. I'm done.
I can see how it happens once, but
what, 5 times?
5 times. 5 times. Now,
and that led to that guy this year playing it for no reason because he was so scared of going home with it.
And that's exactly what I would do. If I had an idol, I would just play it and just be done with it. And not let it burn a hole in my pocket. Know that
we'll see, Gabby, because he sends videos in when Daniel gets on Survivor. We'll find out if he's telling the truth or not.
I can't wait.
I mean,
not me. I don't want nothing to do with staying out there. I don't do spiders. I don't even eat fish. And I don't want to do Big Brother either. Matt Klotz said I should do it because I think I might choke someone out if I had to deal with them that many days. So keep me out of reality TV, man.
Your life is real enough.
Real enough. I got to deal with Twitter, man. That's enough. Okay.
That's.
Do you know, before you sign this thing off, Daniel, do you know that during the election, Twitter broke a record of how many people were interacting on it? So that shouldn't surprise you, right? Like an opportunity for everybody to start yelling at each other. That's the world we live in. Anyway, it had something, and it showed the spike of the uses during the election, and it's like it really solidified what Twitter is, right? A opportunity for everybody to just talk bad to each other.
Well, that was people generating all that because Twitter and Facebook and these social media platforms all agreed that they wouldn't put any information as far as facts or non-facts out until after a decision was made, because they didn't want a spread of misinformation out there like they've had in the past. So
I just know I could scroll Instagram during the election and I could see Alabama gymnastics videos, Oklahoma gymnastics, baseball home run clips. I stick to Instagram, man. Because it really keeps with the algorithms. And so whatever you watch on a regular basis is what cycles through. So Like if I watch a couple gymnastics videos, I love Instagram because then next time I refresh my feed, it's more of it. And like just that's how I get in a roll, and that's why I get hyped for the season. Next thing you know, I'm watching teams that I've never even seen before. Right. Like I feel like we need to get a Washington guest, Daniel. For whatever reason, when I was going through the Cal videos, Washington kept popping up. I was like, well, now we need a Washington guest because I don't watch 20 videos.
There you go. Gabby, anything you want to plug or promote before you get out of here?
No, I'm all good. I just want to say thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. Obviously have a happy, a safe, a successful, injury-free season. And when magic happens at the end of the season, we're going to bring you back on. We're going to talk about it. Because obviously, you know, we want to know what's on the horizon after gymnastics with you. So with that, I'll let you bounce. Appreciate you being on. That's Gabby, Gladieux, everybody. If you like hearing Gabby's story, or you just like hearing us average shows talk X's and O's.
First name.
I know it's a mouthful, but
I'm just saying, I thought I watched the video of her earlier. I would have actually said Gladieux and messed it up. So shout out to the Instagram again. I seen the video of her saying her own name, and so I didn't mess it up.
Winning. It's always a trick, Gabby, when we have names, because we just want to find a video where the athlete themselves says their name. But a lot of times you don't ever get that. So we have to like kind of take at face value what other people are saying. So we watch a few different videos, try to see if it's said the same way a few different times. And that's what we roll with.
So. She's from North Carolina with that name. I mean, she should be absolutely Louisiana.
I mean, you would think. You would think.
Yeah, I've heard it every way, so I respond to any of them.
All right, Gabby, we'll get you out of here. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're talking more gymnastics with Jordan King.